Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time you're watching this. It is F1 Manager, Spain, practice 3 at the moment. 91% setup for George, 89 Lewis, then 94 for George, and 92 for Lewis. So that, for me, is a successful practice 3. Ignore the times. Engines are worn out like crazy. Anyway, George, I believe. Oh no, this is the race where Lewis has 2 of the upgrades and George doesn't have any of them. And for some reason, Lewis has very little confidence, but hey, into qualifying.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top as qualifying gets underway.
Teams often bring upgrades to Barcelona, so the qualifying order could be a little shaken up. Cars need to be well balanced in both high and low speed corners to set a good lap here.
In terms of Lance Stroll, how do you think he's doing, Karun?
We saw some disappointing lap times from them in practice. It could be that the team were experimenting with the car, but the pressure's now on them to deliver.
And with that, let's get back onto the track.
And it's qualifying time. Ignore the fact we're currently 9 and 9.1 seconds off. I sent them out on inters just so they gain confidence, because they'll be personal best in every sector and they'll gain confidence because of that. Anyway, green for Hamilton, green for George, so not purple, but hopefully we can be around where Ocon and Alonso are, or where Verstappen and Tsunoda are, just to get through. Green again for Lewis and green again for George. No idea what the set times are. Anyway, coming through the final few corners, all high speed, which is what this car is good at. Somehow up to the line. What's it going to be? Lewis off second off. George about 8 tenths off. That's bad. 6th and 10th at the moment. 7th and 10th. That isn't. Aye. Where is the pace? And George's pace is the normal car. Lewis's pace is the upgrades, the extra upgrades he has. Because I don't think I've given George the upgrades at this point in time. Anyway, going through the first sector, George quicker than Lewis because he's getting the slipstream. I sent them out on that way on purpose. Yeah, just so, because George will be the one needing the slipstream more. Lewis won't. Although Lewis is quicker in sets 2 where all the corners are, proving the upgrades help in the corners. I don't think we are actually best in high speed, as in from our car's attributes. I think we're better in,
now this was at turn 1.
what's it called? Better in low speed and medium speed.
Well, you can see the lockup.
As Hulkenberg decides to just
that had on the tyres.
not want to qualify into a top 10 shootout. But anyway, that's his session over. Both our cars, 5th and 6th through, or 6th and 7th, through to Q3. First flying lap in Q3 on a scrub set of tyres. This might have been the same set of tyres that we've done the Q1 and Q2 laps on, so they'll be very, very warm. Green, purple, okay, Lewis quicker, Alonso's locked up on an out lap.
All good at this point, and the car just locks.
Brakes must have just been a little cold. I mean, that's a good thumbnail screenshot, so I'll take it. Anyway, Lewis quicker than George. Probably just those upgrades providing more downforce through the corners. On the straight, George is now quicker than Lewis, which is the reverse of Q2 because it was the other way around. Anyway, coming into the super high speed stuff, around the final corner, George is 300ths off Lewis. Now I put it in a position where George is in such a good slipstream, it's unreal. He couldn't be any closer if he tried, and this is on a fresh pair of tyres, so this lap really matters. George is purple, Lewis is green. I probably should have sent them out the other way because I think Lewis has more pace, but I don't think anything above P4 is possible in this qualifying session. which is not what we need, considering we need to bounce back and beat Ferrari, but oh well. Just have to push harder in the coming races. Anyway, around the final corner. Lewis goes up to line. P1 at the moment for Lewis, P4 for George.
So just go.
Max doesn't beat our time. Okay, this is huge. Now we might... Where has that come from? Perez can't beat it. Leclerc coming up to the line. We need to beat Ferrari.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Leclerc's on pole by 83 thousandths. That's such a shame. Carlos Sainz in his home race. What can he do? Up to the line. It's a Ferrari one too. Quite a decent bit as well. Norris can't do anything.
Let's keep pushing.
So we're P3 and P6 for the Spanish Grand Prix into race day.
Race day has arrived, and the time has almost come for these drivers to fight it out, wheel to wheel.
Barcelona is a circuit with plenty of history under its belt. It was here, after all, that multiple world champion Max Verstappen secured his very first F1 victory back in 2016. The weather is very overcast here. Strategies might have to be quite flexible going into today's race.
And there are going to be some tough calls to make in Catalonia today. So let's see who makes the best ones for the Spanish Grand Prix. The stage is set here in Barcelona as we get ready for 66 laps of the Spanish Grand Prix. And there's always a sense of excitement when it comes to talking about Max Verstappen.
Starting fourth here is a great position. If the team can get their strategy right, they can bring home some big points.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. One of the oldest races on the Formula One calendar. This is the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Gonna be a weird strategy. I'm gonna assume that the rain's gonna come when it says it's gonna come. And I'm gonna do 2 sets of softs with George and 1 set of mediums with Lewis, hopefully not pitting, and we can try and differentiate the strategies and, well, win, hopefully. As there's been a crash involving multiple cars in turn 1. How do they not just go through turn 1 sensibly? Who knows when it's like, oh no. I think Magnussen took out his teammate. What a shame for us that will be. As Russell just gets blocked off by Perez there. This was actually Hulkenberg who got the penalty, so it must have been Hulkenberg rear-ending his teammate. As Russell goes down to 6th, Lewis down to 4th.
Let's take a closer look.
This Grand Prix is
Now
not a
watch
good one.
Max Verstappen here. Can they squeeze by? Up into 3rd and contending for a podium place.
Our straight line speed is that bad that Lewis had to defend from Perez and just give up the ghost from Max as George decides it's his time on Perez and gets the move up and then goes in front of Lewis. Lewis from 3rd to 5th, well, 3rd to 6th, George from 6th to 5th, 6th to 4th, I think. Yeah. And they're fighting up ahead as Perez now gets Russell. Russell then goes for an absolute mega lunge on Perez, makes it work in fairness. And then goes to the outside of Verstappen up into P3. George is on a mission here as he's pitting next lap for another set of softs. George can't quite get Verstappen there, dives to the inside here though. Into a left-hander before Kampsa corner. Max goes through at Kampsa corner down to the new, oh I say newly, in the 2022 or 2021 revamped corner. As Russell comes in to the pits on lap 15 for another set of the soft compounder tyre. This should have probably been a medium in hindsight. This was a mistake. I should have put him on mediums. Anyway, 3.1 seconds stop. It's better than what we have been used to with 3.2s recently. We just need to get through the traffic and make sure we're in a clean gap, hopefully ahead of Piastri. No, not quite. We're going to have to overtake Piastri and quite a lot of cars to get back, because Lewis is hopefully not going to pit as George goes up to 17th. This will massively help his confidence overtaking all these cars, as he's up to 16th on lap 17. On lap 18, a mega send on Joe puts him up to P15. Around the outside on Gasly, who's kind of underperforming for that Alpine, which is probably the 4th best car. We're now 13th, and now, oh yeah, that's lovely. 2 cars hopefully, no, just the one. On Ricciardo and up to 12th. And then hopefully soon we'll be on Bottas and up to, there we go, around the outside. Nice, into the left, and the right then through Kampsa, get the place. As Lewis is now fighting Norris, and Lewis might even have to pit again because those tyres are getting so worn. 41%, and the rain is just not showing any sign of being anywhere near. As Perez and Alonso are in the pits, George is now up to 8th. As the 2 Ferraris are pit in front, Sainz the fast lap, George then goes up to 7th. Lewis is currently in 2nd, but I'm conserving tyres to try and get him to go as long as I can. And I'm going to put Russell on light mode just to try and make it to this rain, and I'm going to have to pit Lewis. Unfortunately, there's no option about it, we're going to have to pit Lewis. So in Lewis will go. 4 will set the soft compound tyres. On his marks, softs, out. Probably be P9, I think. Yeah, P9, just in front of Alonso. 2.9 second stop, that's actually pretty decent for us. Obviously not great compared to Red Bull and all that, we're doing 2.1s as Norris has a slow stop. And Russell's tyres are now on 37%, they're not going to do well. So we're going to try and get him to hold up max for Lewis. He's only 4.5 seconds back. Nice, defending George. Yeah, through here. Now up to Kampsa corner and down the straight. This is going to be the most important bit. And he's just waved him by. Alright, we'll say goodbye to that plan. As Lewis now gets George on lap 34. As the rain is coming down, 0.1 of a millimetre, there's no point in pitting anyone now. As Esteban's going to fly down the inside of George, nothing George can do, George down to 7th. There's now 0.8 millimetres of water on the track, and George has come in. And Lewis will come in about this lap. No, I think it'll be next lap's time. But Russell has to pit, otherwise he was now in punch territory on those softs. 2.3, that's bad. Although in the pit stop championship, I believe we just had both cars 1/9 and 1/10, so we'd take that. As I change Lewis's pit stop to the next lap. As everyone's pitting, hopefully we can get an undercut. Oh, sorry, an overcut rather. But Lewis's tyres are now on the cracks. As George now goes up to 9th. And then Verstappen and Hamilton pit on the same lap. So that can only be a good thing, pitting on the same lap as Red Bull. 3.3. Again, terrible. Where's Russell going to emerge? Hopefully Russell can get in front of Ocon, but I doubt it. Or is he? He's close. No, he didn't. Oh, he got ahead of Ocon, but not Stroll. Ooh, and he's just pushed Stroll off the road. That's not ideal. As now we're conserving the inters. Georgetown to... what's that? 8th? Yeah, Georgetown to 8th, back up to 7th. Just nothing we can do, as now Ocon is going to creep through, I'm sure. There's just nothing I can do to keep these tyres in good nick. The track has now changed to damp. So water went down, water went up, water went down, water's going back up. Oh, why is there an Alfa Romeo trying to fight us while we're trying to fight somebody else? That's not very ideal. You get a penalty for that in real life. as George is now down to 9th. But now the track has just turned dry and I'm pitting George and Lewis on the same lap, because I saw everybody else from 12th downwards pitting. So in the pits we go, both cars, 3.3 on softs. George getting a lot of pitting there. 3.1 on softs, but we got held up a little bit. Lewis, it's undercut time, 28 seconds. Need to get in a lot by the end of the lap. As George comes out P9, same with him, he's going to have to gain a lot by the end of the lap. Lewis gained about 2 seconds on this lap, but I just don't think it will be enough to get Perez. He's had a very quick stop. If he had a slow stop, it's game on, but no, he's had a quick stop. As Perez comes out, where's Lewis? Not quite, just missing out. As Russell is now going to go challenge the outside on lap 63. And on lap 64, he's going to challenge the outside of Stroll, then try and get Norris. That's a nice move. If George finishes 7th, that'll be the lowest one of our cars has finished this year, and only the second time of one of our cars has finished outside the top 5, so consistent start, but not the result we need. As he goes around the outside of Lando on lap 65 and now has to push. And Lewis is on for the podium on the final lap, possibly, if he goes for it.
Over the finish line, and today's
just not enough. At least Ferrari don't win. It's Verstappen, from Leclerc, from Sainz,
So you've taken the flag.
from Perez. Oh, it wasn't even the podium, it was P4. Then Hamilton,
Well done, Lewis.
then Ocon,
There's a long way to go, but
then
let's keep pushing.
Russell.
I believe in you.
That
Thank
is
you
the
so
Spanish
much
Grand
for your
Prix.
consistent efforts.
What a bottle of a weekend, from 3rd and 6th to
And
5th
off
and
the checkered
7th. That is a
flag
huge
has
bottle.
flown. There's Nico Hulkenberg.
Yep, and with a P19 finish, they'll need to pick themselves up after that.
And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
And by the looks of things here in Barcelona, the party's only just beginning. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
They didn't do too badly today. A pretty respectable outcome as far as they'll be concerned. But they need to keep pushing. They can't afford to sit back.
And with that, our time in Barcelona is done.
For the next round, the teams are travelling to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal.
So Max wins from Charles, Carlos, Perez, Lewis, Ocon, George. We lose a spot to Ferrari in the Constructors and don't even score in the fastest pit stop competition. But the pit stops were further off than what we used to, so we can't really complain about that. And we have a facility upgrade of the CFD Centre for Canada. Well, for the rest of the time we do this series, which I'm planning to do another season, but that will probably be a while away. That might even be like in autumn-ish, because F1 24 is coming out soon, which is hopefully I'll finish season 2 before F1 24 and on F1 Manager 24, and then we'll switch to F1 Manager 24 and then come back to this alongside F1 Manager 24, but that won't be for a while yet. So no research on the side pods then. Oh, I might do a design on the underfloor, that sounds healthy. Yep, design on the underfloor, which will be a while away. Chassis research complete. This next car, looking quick already. Now we spread the engineers out a bit better, and now we do the pit stop thing. And this is what I end up having from the pit stop training, because I don't know if you guys know, but I can only ever make it worse. I don't know how you make it better. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.